Tonight on CTV News at 6, they walked together in North Bay wearing red.
It's a very hard day to be here.
A national day of awareness and remembrance for missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. Have you filled up lately?
We've crossed a very dangerous point where supplies are very, very limited.
The price at the pumps jumps again. And reaching out to friends and family.
Youth especially, 1 in 5 youth are being affected by loneliness and social isolation.
Mental Health Week focuses on building connections and reducing isolation.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you're with us on this Tuesday, May 5th. There was a heavy police presence in Elk Lake today. The 5th Street East and Pine Street area was swarming with police this morning in the community northwest of Timmins Shores. Police cleared the area just after 10 a.m., saying there was no threat to public safety. Police have charged an Alberta driver after a single vehicle collision in Sudbury. Police say a commercial vehicle crashed on Highway 69 at the Highway 17 junction around 1:30 this morning. 2 occupants in the vehicle were taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The 30-year-old driver from Edmonton has been charged with careless driving causing bodily harm. The cleanup of the milk products and removal of the wreckage took most of the day.
Commercial motor vehicles to always pre-check their load and ensure that their load is safe. Do a circle of their vehicle, ensure that they follow the speed limit of the highways, try not to be distracted.
Police say commercial vehicles play an important role in delivering goods to communities across Ontario, but are subject to strict regulations regarding travel, licensing, and equipment. OPP and Kirkland Lake have seized more than $16,000 in drugs and cash. Police releasing this photo today after a traffic stop last month on Government Road led police to search the vehicle. They found $10,000 in suspected cocaine and more than $600 in cash. A 29-year-old from Etobicoke and a 55-year-old local man are facing trafficking charges. A few dozen people wearing red marched today from the North Bay Indigenous Friendship Centre down to the waterfront. It was to mark Red Dress Day. CTV's Eric Tashner has more.
Marching to the beat of the drum, Indigenous people and their allies reflect on a dark chapter in the story of First Nations.
It's a very hard day to be here.
It's the National Day of Awareness and Remembrance for missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people.
There's a girl that's gone missing in Wikwemekong. They've been looking for her, just all of a sudden one day disappeared. And then we've got the 2 girls that went missing quite a few years ago in Maniwaki.
Red dresses, shirts, and ribbons serve as a visual reminder of the lives that have been lost and the ongoing calls for justice, safety, and accountability.
Being here in hopes that in the future, we have a safer place for our people.
Police data shows a woman or girl is killed by violence approximately every 48 hours in Canada, often from gender-based violence. Many of these women are Indigenous.
More investigating, more support for Indigenous women and girls, and allowing them to be in their communities and practice their culture.
According to the Assembly of First Nations, despite only making up a little over 4% of Canada's population, Indigenous women make up 16% of female homicide victims and 11% of women's missing persons cases.
As an Indigenous person, a single mother with my daughter, traveling alone, it's not safe. So maybe in the future, that will be safe.
It's that hope for change that pushes these advocates forward. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
And Ontario Provincial Police have released a new report on missing and unsolved murdered Indigenous people. The report reviews 65 investigations dating from 1956 to 2024. Of those cases, 14 involve Indigenous women and girls, including missing persons and 9 unsolved deaths, most of them homicides. 45 cases involve Indigenous men and boys, including missing persons and 6 unsolved deaths. Police say the report reflects ongoing efforts to address violence against Indigenous peoples and bring answers to families.
We have a tremendous responsibility to be supportive, not only to victims, but to the vulnerable. And I think if there was anything that anyone could do or help support to provide closure to people, to loved ones, to families, to mothers, to brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, that would help, one, humanity, but it would also provide closure to people that need it.
You know, the fact that this particular matter had to have an inquiry just shows the lack of understanding or attention that was given to, the very real experiences that families had to endure. So I think it's great to have this happen. And I think that if they're including people who are impacted or who are key stakeholders, if you want to call them stakeholders, in this matter, then that's a move towards the right direction. Obviously, I'm always going to say that not enough is being done to address the matters as an Indigenous woman.
And anyone with information is urged to call the Ontario Centre for Missing Persons at 1-877-9-FIND-ME, or to remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. With the price at the pumps climbing higher, drivers are looking for ways to reduce their fuel consumption or find alternatives. That story from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
Sticker shock for Sudbury drivers Tuesday as some stations showed almost $2 a litre for regular gas. Others nearby weren't too far behind.
We've crossed a very dangerous point where supplies are very, very limited, and many countries are now looking not at just high prices, but shortages, which will mean rationing.
McTagg connects this hike to the conflict in the Middle East and the geopolitical climate, and he's predicting the shortage means the cost of fuel will continue to climb.
Despite the federal government dropping 10 cents off the federal excise tax, it's still not having the desired impact of bringing down prices. And so we're stuck in a vortex, if you will, of ever higher prices, which the spiral is likely to go well past the $2 litre range.
Given the skyrocketing price at the pumps, motorists are looking for ways to save money or make changes. An environmental not-for-profit says our community is very dependent on fossil fuels, given that Sudbury is a sprawling city.
If you are coming from the outskirts, as a lot of us are from Sudbury, from outlying communities, try to go once a week instead of several times a week. But again, understanding sports and kids and activities and families, that might not be possible. I think, there's always the advice, stick to the speed limit, make sure your tires are inflated, make sure that your car is in good operational order.
The cost of gas also has some considering switching to electric or hybrid model vehicles. A Sudbury EV expert says they've seen an uptick in interest, and he reassures those who are interested that the savings in the long run is worth the upfront investment.
The total cost of ownership of an EV versus a regular gas car, I believe Clean Energy Canada just came out with some stats where it's around the $30,000 over the life of the vehicle mark that you could save on electricity and maintenance.
McTagg is telling Canadian drivers to buckle up for an expensive year. He predicts gas prices could surpass the all-time record of $2.15.9 cents a litre set in June 2022, shortly after the Russian-Ukrainian war began. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
All right, let's talk about the roller coaster weather. A little cool out there this morning, below seasonal values. When is the warm-up coming? Here's CTV's Amanda Hicks filling in for Rick Wyman. Amanda.
Thanks for that, Tony. And weather roller coaster is absolutely right. It's not quite feeling like May out there yet, is it? Especially on days like today where we're hitting below seasonal values, as you mentioned. We are going to get there, though. We are going to be seeing some warmer conditions as we get closer to the weekend. It's just going to take a couple of days to get there. We're going to see some cloudy skies as well, and some flowers. We're going to trade some flurries for flowers by the time the week starts next week. I'll have those details coming up a bit later on. But for now, Tony, back to you.
Thanks, Amanda. Major upgrades still to come on CTV News at 6. Several parks in the Soo are getting provincial funding. Right now, we are heading to Parry Sound and the town dock. This live webcam is courtesy of Northern Creations. It's 7 degrees. We're back in just a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
A new proactive approach to property standards has begun in Sault Ste. Marie. It's in an effort to both clean up problem areas and further punish out-of-town property owners that have become repeat offenders. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
Areas like this were among the top priority for the city's building division, undertaking the first of regular bylaw blitz efforts. The targeted, proactive enforcement from bylaw officers will run for the rest of 2026, focusing on neighborhoods with frequent complaints.
The biggest thing I hear about is the homeless population that is, kind of inhabiting different vacant buildings, different yards, things like that. A lot of the garbage that'll go alongside of that, and some of the safety issues that get brought in as well for the city to deal with it.
Dufour says those issues, combined with an absentee landlord problem, has led to changes from City Council.
A renewed focus on the yard maintenance bylaw with a 7-day compliance period, whereas before some of the orders were being issued under the property standards bylaw, that had a provincially mandated compliance date of 14 days. So by cutting that in half, I think that we're going to see a lot better results a lot quicker.
The city is targeting the area from Wellington to the water's edge between Church Street and West Street for the increased enforcement. This is one step to address what Mayor Matthew Shoemaker refers to as a slumlord issue in the city.
It allows us to, I would say, pile the charges up against landlords. So once they get to a certain point, then they could be put on a, whether it's a vacant property, they could be required to have vacant property insurance sent to us. And if they don't have that, then we can, take possession of the property in certain instances.
No additional resources have been provided to accommodate the enforcement blitz, with bylaw officers being moved from other core duties. Both Shoemaker and Dufour agree that in order to tackle this issue long term, the city needs to increase the staffing complement of an already small building division. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
In Timmins, the city says it will be conducting a property standards blitz later this month. From May 11th to May 29th, bylaw enforcement services will contact and work with property owners to address any issues like pet waste, exterior building conditions, and lawn and yard maintenance. This encompasses 2 city bylaws around property cleanliness and condition. Last year, during the enforcement blitz, 130 cases were reviewed, with all being resolved by year end. The blitz lines up with other cleanup initiatives in the city, including 1 free load of waste per household at the Deloro landfill. 5 recreation areas in Sault Ste. Marie are getting upgrades. More than $855,000 is being invested through the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation. Wilcox, Manitou, and Manzo parks will see upgraded playground equipment, area resurfacing, and more. The Strathclair Sports Complex will see improvements to the dog park and lighting, as well as a new batter's box, while the Greco pool will be adding accessible washrooms and making improvements to the change rooms. Emergency Preparedness Week in Canada runs from May 3rd to the 9th, and the Ontario SPCA is using this week to encourage people to have plans in place for everyone in the household, including pets.
We have business cards to put in your wallet that'll say that your pet's home alone in case you end up in an accident, with the key card as well. We also have our door stickers that show how many animals are in the home, so in case there's an evacuation, whether it's cats or dogs, or you can add a bird or any other animal in your home just to make sure they get evacuated.
In addition to the pet identifiers, the SPCA has a 72-hour emergency preparedness workbook. It's recommending pet owners check their emergency kits twice a year to make updates if needed. Bailey cited the recent snowfall and flooding in the area as a reminder of being prepared for an emergency. Ontario NDP leader Marit Stiles is facing criticism over a remark she made yesterday suggesting Premier Doug Ford could be behind bars before the next provincial election. We get that story from CTV's Siobhan Morse.
Ontario's opposition leader sees no need to apologize for comments about the Premier that raised eyebrows around Queen's Park.
Maybe you won't get another mandate because you'll be in prison, Doug.
The government House leader slammed that language during question period.
Dangerous, American-style, Trumpian rhetoric that, quite frankly, has no place in this legislature. Shameful.
Speaker, pretty rich coming from a government that is under RCMP criminal investigation.
That investigation of land removal from the Greenbelt was launched in the fall of 2023. Records tied to the process are accessible to the Mounties, but not journalists or the public. That's because of changes to the Freedom of Information Act.
I think I'm saying out loud what a lot of people are saying quietly, right? Which is that this is a premier and a government who have to answer to the people. If you have nothing to hide, why are you working so hard to hide things?
The premier isn't asking for an I'm sorry, but says
That Trump-style rhetoric is unacceptable as far as I'm concerned.
Doug Ford's been accused of engaging in that same kind of rhetoric going back to his 2018 campaign.
Doug Ford sounds like Donald Trump, and that's because he is like Donald Trump.
Those words from the then premier after Ford's campaign released this statement. If Kathleen Wynne tried to pull these kinds of shady tricks in private life, there would be more than a few Liberals joining David Livingston in jail. That's an ex-Premier McGuinty staffer who served time for deleting emails connected to the gas plant scandal.
Campaigns, you go back and forth, but now we're running government, and I think everyone should get together and collaborate when we can.
2 weeks ago, Ford faced heavy criticism for a dig at a Liberal MPP.
You know why the members down here? Because CP24 didn't want her anymore.
The premier has since apologized. He draws distinction with what Stiles said.
Inside the legislature, words get said, but that one was over the top. And yes, we go back and forth, but she stepped over the line.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Back now for a check on your current conditions. Here's Amanda.
Thanks for that, Tony. We saw highs of between 7 to 12 degrees today, although it did feel a lot colder than that with the wind chill because of the wind out there. It was quite a windy day, that's for sure, making things a lot colder. Heading into the overnight hours, temperatures are going to start to dip quite a bit. Still going to be quite chilly overnight, but before we get there, let's take a look at how things are looking outside your doorstep right now. Starting with Moosonee, we've got some light rain falling, some cloudy skies in Cochrane, Timmins, and Kapuskasing. We're sitting at between 2 to 6 degrees there. We've got mainly cloudy skies in Wawa and Chapleau, more clouds for Sault Ste. Marie, between 2 to 7 degrees. And then in Parry Sound, we've got more sunshine there, 7 degrees, a little bit warmer there compared to the other regions. And I guess I skipped ahead here, but we seeing some sunshine in Sudbury and Espanola as well. Going to have to send it back to you, Tony.
Thanks for that, Amanda. She has an impressive resume. Next on CTV News at 6, the Prime Minister names Louise Arbour as Canada's next Governor General. And a separation group in Alberta delivers a petition and wants a referendum. A new chapter for Canada with the appointment of the next Governor General, Louise Arbour, former Supreme Court Justice and former United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. She comes to the regal post with an impressive and distinguished resume. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
In choosing Louise Arbour as Canada's next Governor General, the Prime Minister recognized her dedication to upholding the law.
It's a duty that calls for sound judgment, deep learning, and an unwavering commitment to the rule of law.
The 79-year-old is a former Supreme Court justice who left her deepest mark on the global stage. She served as the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights and prosecuted war crimes in international tribunals. Arbour secured a conviction against perpetrators of genocide in Rwanda and indicted the leader of the former Yugoslavia.
In 1999, in the middle of a war, she signed the indictment of a sitting head of state, Slobodan Milosevic, for crimes against humanity and violations of the laws of war.
The appointment comes as the U.S. undermines global institutions. This is a reminder of what sets Canada apart.
Above all, we all strive to provide for each other in a spirit of equality and generosity.
Arbor's deep resume may help Carney avoid his predecessor, Justin Trudeau's problematic choices. Julie Payette was accused of abusing Rideau Hall staff, while Mary Simon, the first Indigenous Governor General, is not fluent in French. But in a constitutional monarchy, as the King's representative, Arbor may not get support in Quebec, even though she speaks French and was born in Montreal.
The symbol in itself carries the idea of Canadian unity, but democracy in Quebec also carries the idea of Quebec independence.
Separatist voices are also growing louder in Alberta. Arbor promises to be a unifying force.
I think there is a space for the Governor General to be conducive of Canadian dialogue with respect to diverse. I've mentioned the diversity of our people, diversity of views, of opinions, of experiences, but all that, I think, in a spirit of respect and moving the country forward.
Louise Arbour will officially assume her role as Canada's 31st Governor General in early June. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Alberta separatists say they've submitted more than 300,000 signatures on a petition calling for a referendum that would ask Albertans if the province should leave Canada.
To send a strong message to Ottawa that Alberta is leaving Canada.
Elections Alberta still has to confirm the number of signatures, which the Stay Free Alberta campaign says is well above the 178,000 signatures required to trigger a referendum. Before that can happen, a judge will rule on a court challenge of the petition launched by a group of First Nations who say it violates treaty rights. Prime Minister Carney was asked about the petition today at the announcement of the new Governor General.
As you know as well, there's a judicial challenge separately but relatedly by Indigenous nations in Alberta regarding the question. So those processes have to be followed through. But if you bring it into, so I'm observing that because of the solemnity of the moment that we're observing today and celebrating today. But if you bring it into my day-to-day responsibilities and those of the government, it's to continue to act as we have from the start, which is in the spirit of cooperative federalism, making the country work, making it work for Albertans, making it work for Indigenous peoples, making it work for all Canadians.
And Carney says he will meet with Premier Danielle Smith when she's in Ottawa. Now, the latest on the hantavirus outbreak on board a cruise ship that is currently off the coast of Cape Verde. The World Health Organization now suspects there may have been human-to-human transfer of the virus, adding to the concern of the passengers still on board the ship.
What's happening right now is very real for all of us here. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part.
4 Canadians are among the 149 people on board the vessel. 3 passengers have died and 3 more have become seriously ill in a suspected outbreak of the rare hantavirus. The World Health Organization is working under the assumption that there has been human-to-human spread of the virus, and the first people to become ill were infected before they got on board the ship.
We do believe that there may be some human-to-human transmission that's happening among the really close contacts, the husband and wife, people who've shared cabins, etc. So again, our assumption is that has happened, and that's why we are operating and working with the ship to make sure that anyone who is symptomatic, anyone caring for patients is wearing full personal protective equipment.
Hantavirus is a rodent-borne illness that is usually spread by contact with rodents, their urine or droppings. And while rare, it may spread between people. It's still not clear how the virus got on board the ship. The ship is not allowed to dock for safety reasons. Witnesses were shocked in BC after a jet ski collided with a whale in Vancouver waters near Stanley Park. Now, Vancouver police confirm they are investigating. CTV's Yasmin Gandam has more on the story, which includes video some viewers may find disturbing.
Vancouver police say they've received multiple reports of a jet skier colliding with a whale Monday evening. This video may be hard to watch for some of our viewers, so we have frozen the video right before the moment of impact. A witness was filming the whale and captured this video showing the collision. Vancouver police confirmed the jet ski operator was rescued by a nearby sailboat and received help from the Coast Guard. Police spoke with witnesses and the jet skier and say they are unable to confirm any injuries to the whale. Witnesses say lots of people were gathered in the area to watch the gray whale.
It was awful to watch, to be honest. I have a lot of concern for both the whale and the person. Right afterwards, there was 2 sailboats in pretty close to the man. And he yelled out saying, "I need help."
BC Emergency Health Services confirmed they were notified of a person in need of medical assistance in the water just before 8 p.m. Monday evening, and they were transported to hospital in serious but stable condition, as witnesses recount the terrifying ordeal.
When he was coming back down, the gray whale kind of popped up right in front of him, like he did his blowhole and sprayed his water right in front of the sea dewar, just as the sea dewar then hit.
There's still no word on the condition of the gray whale, as Vancouver police confirmed the incident is under investigation. Yasmin Gantim, CTV News, Vancouver.
And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Amanda.
Thanks for that, Tony. And I know we're all wanting to see those May flowers after all those April showers that we saw. We are going to be seeing some milder temperatures, though. It's just going to take a couple days to get there, and we'll be seeing some double-digit temperatures, mind you. But let's take a look at the forecast radar. Cloudy skies for the most part over the next couple days. A little bit of sunshine in between, but that's courtesy of a low-pressure system that's going to be moving through the region, causing more cloudy skies, a little bit of rain snow mix here and there as well too, so make sure you keep that in mind. But it's a slight chance for the most part over the next couple days heading into the weekend. But let's take a look at how things are shaping up overnight. Partly cloudy skies in Sudbury, -3, -2 in Timmins, with mostly cloudy skies clearing into Miskaming Shores, and then a few clouds in North Bay. And let's take a look at Moosonee. Snow or rain mix sitting at the freezing mark there. Partly cloudy skies in Gore Bay, and then 4 degrees in Parry Sound, so the mildest spot in those areas. 7-day forecast starting with Sudbury, Nickel Belt. So cloudy skies for tomorrow, high of 9 degrees, holding on to that temperature for Thursday. Chance of sleet continuing on into Friday, bumping up to some double-digit temperatures. Chance of sleet on Saturday and showers on Monday or Sunday for Mother's Day. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, cloudy skies for tomorrow, high of 7. 6 degrees on Thursday with a chance of sleet continuing on into Friday and Saturday and Sunday as well, getting up to 8 degrees, well below the normal for this time of year, which is 15 degrees. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, overcast skies for tomorrow, high of 8. 9 degrees on Thursday with a chance of sleet continuing into all of next week, continuing into Monday as well, high of 9. But then by Tuesday, we see some double-digit temperatures with a high of 14. For Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, cloudy skies for tomorrow, beginning with a bit of sunshine, high of 11, 9 degrees on Thursday. Chance of sleet, rain, snow mix continuing into Friday and Saturday. But by the time Mother's Day rolls around, chance of showers, slight chance of showers. So fingers crossed that we don't see that for Mother's Day. And finally, for North Bay, West Nipissing, sun cloud mix for tomorrow, high of 12. 10 degrees on Thursday, chance of sleet. Still cool overnight though, sitting at the freezing mark for the low there, 11 degrees on Friday with a chance of sleet continuing into Saturday and much of the weekend. Chance of showers on Sunday, but at least, you know, we're getting into some double-digit temperatures. And for today's weather pick of the day, it was sent in by one of our directors here at CTV, Carter Brown. And at first glance, I mean, what a great photo. Bunny just eating some food outside, but he has an observer there. That's Carter's cat, and he's watching. He's in stealth mode there. Thank you so much, Carter, for sending that in. And coming up after the break, Lindsay Alick will have a story about Mental Health Week. Stay tuned.
More stores are now using algorithms and dynamic pricing, so you may see the cost of some goods change over a month, a week, or even a day. Whether it's a lawnmower, a mattress, or a TV set, it's wise to track prices of things you're hoping to buy. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
Whether you're looking for a coffee pot or big-ticket purchases like appliances and mattresses, prices will fluctuate. There's been a lot of discussion about dynamic pricing, changing prices based on demand, but retail analyst Bruce Winder says that's not new.
If you get your weekly flyers, you'll see prices go down for a week and then they'll go back up. And then maybe 6 weeks later, they go down again.
Consumer Reports just tracked 16 popular products to give shoppers a clear picture of how prices rise, fall, and fluctuate. Take this Shark vacuum.
1 week it was like $119, and at its peak it was close to $200. So it would swing by $40 or $50 a week. We're seeing it with baby products, a lot of clothing and footwear.
While some retailers are experimenting with surveillance pricing in the U.S., where consumers are charged different prices based on their personal data, Winder feels it won't be prevalent in Canada.
Charging consumers different prices because they're different consumers is taboo. The reputational damage to the company would far eclipse any margin gain.
If you're trying to save money on electronics, consider buying an older model. TVs, phones, and laptops that are a year or two old can cost hundreds less. And consider refurbished products.
They take it, they clean it up, they replace parts, and you get it with a new 1-year warranty. I mean, there's no better deal in my mind than getting a refurbished item.
Certain items also go on sale at specific times of the year. AI can help research that. If you can hold off on a purchase, you could save money.
And you might find out that this is one of the items that is really used aggressively on Black Friday or Cyber Monday or Boxing Day, right? And if you can, you might wait.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
The OPP are warning the public of an aggressive phone scam they started receiving complaints about this morning. They say there are calls appearing to come from the Sudbury detachment phone number. Scammers are calling individuals repeatedly saying they are police officers and requesting personal information, asking about ongoing investigations or attempting to obtain sensitive details under the pretense of assisting with a police matter.
Just always be aware that there are scams and fraudsters out there trying to get your identity, trying to get personal information, whether it's your bank account, your personal information, and always double check the source of who the information is going to. And don't be shy to hang up and call the source yourself to verify that.
The Sudbury OPP detachment phone number is 705-564-6900, and police say scammers are using spoofing technology to make it look like the calls are coming from a legitimate police number. The North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit says opioid-related overdoses have exceeded pandemic levels. The health unit is reporting 42 overdoses and 4 deaths last month alone. The increase is alarming and has caused the health unit to extend its drug warning from April 7th for a second time. Meanwhile, in Sudbury, health officials say the situation is complex.
Public Health Sudbury and Districts has released 3 drug warnings. And that is because of an increase in suspected drug poisonings in the area. In fact, in our last release on May 1st, we talked about how we actually in April saw the highest number of emergency medical services calls since May of 2022, and actually the highest since Public Health began tracking that data in 2018. Now those numbers have kind of declined back down to typical levels as of now.
Mortimer says individuals consuming drugs are advised to use the buddy system and always carry naloxone kits. This is Mental Health Week, and the Canadian Mental Health Association Sudbury Manitoulin is encouraging people to connect. From grabbing a coffee with a friend to taking a walk, officials are encouraging everyone to reach out in person rather than virtually. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Connection can take many forms, but officials say it has increasingly shifted to screens in recent years.
Youth especially, 1 in 5 youth are being affected by loneliness and social isolation. And what happens is, because they reach out through the social media channels, virtual is good, but it's not enough. And so we're really promoting connection, we're promoting reach out to a friend, a family member, community.
According to 2025 Stats Canada data, nearly 1 in 4 people who connect only online are frequently lonely, compared to 15% of those who connect both in person and virtually. Meanwhile, about 5 million people in Canada report feeling lonely often or always, and officials say loneliness is linked to anxiety, depression, substance use, and disengagement.
Let people know that they don't need to be alone. There is supports. Once again, when I look at some of the workshops that we're hosting, we also have a very important topic that we need to talk about, and that's suicide. So we have a Safe Talk free session tomorrow afternoon for individuals who have registered. And again, we want to bring that open, direct conversation about the importance of letting people know that it's okay to not be okay.
For those that aren't sure how to get started, CMHA is inviting community members to take part in a mental health walk here at Bell Park tomorrow at 6:30 p.m., offering an opportunity to step away from screens, connect in person, and meet others in a low-pressure, welcoming environment. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
There's a lot on the line. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. With the NHL Draft Lottery this evening, the Toronto Maple Leafs have a slim chance of securing the first overall pick.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
The WNBA and Bell Media have announced a historic rights agreement. The broadcast and streaming deal will see Bell Media become the official media partner of the Toronto Tempo. TSN will broadcast and stream Tempo games, regular season WNBA games, as well as the playoffs, finals, and draft. CTV and Crave will also simulcast select Tempo games throughout the season, including the home opener on Friday. CTV News is a division of Bell Media. The odds aren't great, but Toronto Maple Leaf fans are hoping their team can come away with the #1 pick from tonight's NHL Draft Lottery. The Buds have an 8.5% chance of selecting first overall in the June entry draft, or perhaps second, because there will be 2 draws this evening. If not, attention turns to whether Toronto will keep its top 5 pick. The Leafs have the 5th selection now, but if any team below them in the draft order wins one of the 2 draws, Toronto will have to send that 5th pick to Boston as part of a trade deal in 2025. At 18.5%, Vancouver has the best odds to get the first selection. From the shores of the Atlantic to the mines of Sudbury, a new Canadian play is coming home to the people who inspired it.
I don't remember the last time I saw Patrick. How long do you think he's been in Sudbury for? About 3 months, I think. And how did he get his job here?
Pat the Dog Theatre Creation is bringing Calling the Rock home to Coppercliff starting this evening. The second stop on a northern tour written by Karen Thistle. The story of 3 Newfoundlanders migrating to Ontario's mines already played to packed houses in Timmins this week. Thistle, who was born in Coppercliff, says she's honored a northern audience will have the opportunity to see a northern story.
Although I'm talking about mining and the industry and, having to leave for work, I'm really talking about what is home. Is it where you're from? Is it the people you come with? Is it the friends and family that you make here? So that's the inspiration.
Having to adapt all the lighting, the spacing was fun. There's always something new to discover in every run we got to do. We got great reactions from the audiences, especially from some who were from Newfoundland, who'd worked in the mines, and being able to hear their stories and feelings connected to what we're telling.
Touring theater is a blast. It feels great to be able to tour theater in Northern Ontario. I'm originally from North Bay, currently based out of Toronto, but it's been a real pleasure to tour with this group.
The 4-show run at Bryston's on the Park kicks off this evening, and the production heads to Sault Ste. Marie next week. Tickets are available online. From Beyonce to Emma Chamberlain and Canada's Hudson Williams, Met Gala guests didn't hold back this year, showing up in costumes that turned the fashion is art dress code into a full-on showcase. The annual fashion show and fundraiser for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute once again brought all the glitz and glamour. This year's exhibit, Costume Art, explores the relationship between the body and clothing, drawing connections between garments and objects throughout the museum's collection.
Entertainment brought to you by the Cinefest Red Carpet Patron Program.
Northern filmmakers, it could be your moment to shine. Cinefest has opened submissions for the CTV Best in Shorts competition from the 38th Annual International Film Festival. Submissions can be made online until Friday, July 10th at 4:30 p.m. The films will be reviewed and the finalists will be part of the festival September 19th to the 27th. The top prize for the shorts competition is $1,500. Some famous faces will be part of the jury at this year's Cannes Film Festival. David Daniel has that and more in tonight's Hollywood Report.
George Lucas's new museum celebrated May the 4th with the first teaser for its inaugural cinema exhibition, Star Wars in Motion, which will focus on the franchise's various vehicles and vessels. It's one of more than 30 exhibits set for the opening of the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, September 22nd in Los Angeles. U.S. moviegoers will recognize some of this year's Cannes Film Festival jury members. Actress Demi Moore, actor Stellan Skarsgård, actress Ruth Negga, and filmmaker Chloe Zhao have been selected for the main competition jury. The 79th Cannes Film Festival begins May 12th.
We got company. Buckle up.
This normal for you?
Yeah. Great.
Peter Sutherland has one more mission in him. Netflix says the 4th season of The Night Agent, starring Gabriel Basso, will be the last. Series creator Sean Ryan says season 4, now filming in Los Angeles, will complete our story. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Canada exported more in March than it imported, and that's a reversal from February. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has more.
The trade surplus, as it's called, was about $1.8 billion in March, and it is the first one we've seen in 6 months. Exports increased 8.5%. Imports fell 1.6%. Canada exported more gold and energy to the world, with the start of the war in Iran paralyzing the Strait of Hormuz. And about $49 billion worth of cars and light trucks were sent to the U.S. in March, and that's the highest it's been in a year. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to $73.40. West Texas Intermediate down over $4 to $102.27. Western Canadian Select up over $5 to $83.88. And the TSX lost 71 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
Here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $28.21, closing the day at $45.4963 U.S. an ounce. Silver down 6 cents to end the day at $72.77. Copper up a penny to $5.89, and nickel moved forward 6 cents, ending the day at $8.79 U.S. a pound. And Amanda is back now for one last look at your Wednesday weather.
A little bit of sunshine, but more clouds on the way for tomorrow, Tony. Clouding over in Sudbury, overcast in Timmins and Sault Ste. Marie between 7 to 9 degrees. And then in North Bay, we've got 12 with a sun-cloud mix, partly sunny skies in Parry Sound, and 11 degrees in Temiskaming Shores with increasing cloud. I think spring might be stuck in traffic somewhere, Tony. Sending it back to you.
I agree. Thanks, Amanda. And finally this hour, a senior in Edmonton impressed audiences over the weekend. At almost 90 years old, he's the oldest person to take the stage as a Ukrainian dancer with the renowned Shumka Dance Ensemble. CTV's Amanda Anderson was there.
And polka, and polka. With moves like these, you'd never know Victor Melik is about to turn 90.
I think it's just remarkable. It warms my heart so much. It brings me such happiness to see him there. Every time he's dancing, it feels like my Guido, my grandfather.
He's the oldest in the seniors Konchumka class.
It's a lot of fun. It turns into a party.
because there's dancing, there's music, there's laughter, there's joking, and we are learning.
He's also the oldest dancer from the school to ever take the stage at the Northern Alberta Jubilee Auditorium for their year-end performance. But first, one last rehearsal backstage. Then the seniors wait for their turn to perform.
The seniors steal the show, absolutely. I think they're pretty level with those little 3-year-olds who are so cute.
Then it's showtime.
It's so amazing to see him have that courage to get up on that stage, to remember his steps, to have fun with it.
Melick says the crowd's reaction is his favorite part.
You have to be there, especially for the applause. It is deafening.
He got to enjoy a few extra seconds of it as the last one off stage.
I planned that on purpose. If you're 89 years old and you're dancing on stage, I'm going to let you be the last one off and wave and soak up all that applause, because he deserved it, like every other senior there does, but I think it's fantastic.
I just love this, and I really don't know what I'm going to do when I have to leave.
Melick hopes to continue being the school's oldest performer as long as he's able. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Well done, Victor. And folks, thanks for watching CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Amanda Hicks. Good night.